Hey guys, I'm K947, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another edition of my My Little Pony Vlogs. Now, I'm trying out a different angle here, guys. You can let me know what you think about this angle in the comment section below. I may try to do like a couch angle like this, like sit on my futon and talk to y'all like this instead of just sitting on my computer chair. Maybe give like a more comfortable feel to things, get me? So it doesn't look like I'm at an office desk. I'm actually in like a, a comfortable location, like a respectable location. I don't know. You let me know, guys. Well, anyways, guys, today on my Little Pony Vlogs, we are talking about the Cutie Chronicles, written by M.A. Larson. Holy crap, do I love this episode in more ways than one. I know you're about to ask, why is it that I like this episode so much, right? I know you're about to ask, what do I think about this episode? Well, this episode solidifies everything I love about My Little Pony in many cases. The reason why I say that is because this is an origin story episode. We finally get to see the origins of not only about the cutie marks, but we also learn about the main six as a whole. So let's get started. The episode begins with the Cutie Mark Crusaders basically trying to find a way to invoke their cutie marks like they always are. I know, idiot, idiot, idiot. So what happens basically is after they fail to get the cutie marks again, Apple Bloom comes up with the idea of basically talking to some of the ponies all around Ponyville to try to come up with like ideas of what are they doing wrong, and maybe they can tell them how they earned their cutie marks. So of course they get the idea of trying to learn about Rainbow Dash's cutie mark story, which I think is interesting in many cases. So as soon as they leave to go see Rainbow Dash, they end up running into Applejack, and that's when Apple Bloom decides to ask, how did Applejack get her cutie mark? So, of course, we're getting exactly what we need. Applejack begins to say that at one point in her life, when she was a filly, she really didn't have any desire to stay on the apple farm. She wanted to live in the big city with her aunt and Uncle Orange. So basically, she moved to the city of Manhattan. Yes, I know. Remember, I live in New York, so I know where Manhattan is. So she moves in with her aunt and Uncle Orange, basically to live the city life, and she finds that's not all that it's cracked up to be. So basically what happens at this point is that for some reason a rainbow happens in the sky pointing directly to home. And so after that rainbow happens, she goes straight back home, and basically, that's when she realizes her destiny, and pretty much, well, not really her destiny. You get what I mean? Her special talent. I really don't want to bring up the Destiny card because of Digibrony's video. I really don't want to talk about Destiny and My Little Pony. I don't. No. So basically, what happens is we found that's how Applejack got her cutie mark. So now we move on to Fluttershy, and she explains that she didn't get her cutie mark. It was thanks to Rainbow Dash that she got her cutie mark. And of course, she begins talking about how she used to be a very weak flyer back in Cloudsdale and very shy in Cloudsdale. Oh yeah, because that's totally different to how she is today. So what happens is basically she gets bullied by basically the same bullies that bullied Rainbow Dash in Sonic Rainboom. And Rainbow Dash stands up to them and decides to race them. When the race begins, they accidentally bump into Fluttershy, knocking her off the clouds, and she basically begins a free fall all the way down to Ponyville. Though, for some reason, butterflies catch her. Butterflies caught Fluttershy from a free fall from clouds. Suspension of disbelief. And then she begins to sing a song, which I'm not even going to get into at all. And then a rainbow happens in the sky again, and like a weird explosion with this rainbow happens in the sky and causes all the animals to get scared. So what Fluttershy begins to do is she begins interacting with all the animals to try to calm them down and to try to, basically, get them to calm down for a little bit. Once she did that, that's when she got her cutie mark, which was about her learning how she's able to interact with animals on a different level than other ponies can. The next cutie mark story that came up, let me see. The next cutie mark story that came up was Rarity's. The next one that came up was Rarity's story. So basically, Rarity started talking about her cutie mark story. apparently she was making dresses for a play that's going to be happening pretty soon, and she just didn't feel like the dresses were exactly what she wanted. So basically, she starts doubting her ability as a designer. Then, for some reason, the magic in her horn starts glowing and dragging her all the way to. Drags her mad far into, like, I don't know how far into Equestria. And then she gets bumped right into a rock where she begins complaining about the rock being her destiny. Again, I'm not going to do that discussion because I really don't want to do this discussion about Digibrony and stuff like that. I don't. No. So what happens next basically is that another rainbow explosion happens in the sky, and the rock cracks, and inside the rocks are these beautiful gems. Like, there's loads of them. So she takes these gems back to her boutique and actually applies them to the outfits for the play. And that's how she gets her Cutie Mark. Then we move... Of course, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are in this episode as well, just mainly talking and stuff like that. Hell, after this story, Scootaloo gets impatient. She begins saying, these namby-pamby stories aren't getting us any closer to our Cutie Marks. They're just about finding about who you are and stuff like that. Then Rarity tries to tell them, yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do, but she pushes the Cutie Mark Crusaders out. Idiot, idiot, idiot. That's all I'm going to keep saying. Now we move on to Twilight's Cutie Mark story. Apparently, after Twilight's scene, Princess Celestia raised the sun during the summer sun celebration. After she saw Princess Celestia raise it in Canterlot, she began applying as much as she can into studying about magic and trying to enhance her own ability. After time, basically her mother and her father applied her to Celestia's School for Gifted Unicorns. The problem was she had to pass an entrance exam, which was to hatch a dragon egg. Twilight tries the best that she could to hatch this egg, but unfortunately she doesn't do very well, and she basically ends up failing the test. Until that weird rainbow explosion happens. The rainbow explosion happens again in this part, and basically her magic enacts, like, it goes off, and she hatches the dragon egg. But then she goes all Avatar state, basically, and turned her freaking parents into, like, a plant in something else. Had the, wow. Like, everything happened. Like, it all went to hell in a handbasket in more than one sense. Celestia came in at a point to, calm Twilight down, and she actually did take down her magic. So basically, Celestia saw how much potential Twilight had, but told her she needed someone to help her learn how to, control her magic. So she told Twilight that she wants her to be her, her student. Twilight accepts this and then finds out that she got a Cutie Mark, and then we're treated to one of my... I'm sorry, but this is Twilight's cutest scene of the entire show. I mean, I think anybody can agree with me on that. Instead of me trying to talk about it, here it is.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. We're happy for you, Twilight. Yeah, thrilled. Let's get out of here while we still can. Yes!
So cute. I mean, okay. On we go. Alright, on we go. Now we move on to the Cutie Mark Crusaders getting close to they're in Ponyville at this point, and now for some reason Pinkie Pie is inside the scooter with them. Basically, Scootaloo is transporting the Cutie Mark Crusaders while she's riding her scooter. She has like a wagon behind her pulling the CMCs, and now Pinkie Pie is in there. Basically, they tell Pinkie Pie that they're looking for Rainbow Dash to learn about a Cutie Mark story. And Pinkie Pie says that she'll take them there and she'll tell her hers. They say, alright, fine. And then we get some backstory into Pinkie Pie, who apparently was a rock farmer. I did not see that coming the first time I watched this show. Like, when I first watched this show, I was looking at Pinkie Pie, like, so exuberant and stuff like that. I was like when I found out that she used to live on a rock farm, I was like, what? Pinkie Pie, the master of parties and happiness as it is, lived on a rock farm. I didn't know how to take that. So basically what happened is that at one point that rainbow explosion happens again in this one. I think you all know the correlating theme in this. And basically what happens is that when she sees the rainbow, she just says that she wants to keep smiling forever. And she wants to spread this smile and cheer to other ponies all around Equestria. So the first ponies that she does this with is her own family, by throwing her first ever party with her family. And this is what enacts her cutie mark afterwards. I have to say that I like this because it definitely, I like that. That was cool because in a place like a rock farm, you would not expect happiness. I mean, happiness comes in the weirdest places. I'll definitely say that in more ways than one. Just to keep myself on the safe side. So they finally reach Secret Group Corner, and then Pinkie Pie says, and that's how Equestria was made. Maybe next time I'll tell you about my cutie mark. It's a gem. When I heard that line, I was like, and even Sweetie Belle said, come on, she's just being Pinkie Pie. Yeah, like Josh Corcher says multiple times over and over again, it's Pinkie Pie. Don't question it. So finally they reach Sugar Cube Corner and Rainbow Dash is there, and she finds out from the Remain 5 that they've been looking for her so they can get her cutie mark story. So finally she begins talking about her cutie mark story where she raced against the bullies, which was, a follow-up to, Fluttershy's cutie mark story. What basically happens is that she begins saying how much she loved the idea of racing, the speed, the adrenaline, and other stuff like that. She had a lot of fun doing this. It was something that she never attempted. This was the first time doing it. So at one point, she begins racing the bully to the point where she's losing, and she tries to fly as fast as she can. As a matter of fact, she flies so fast that she does a sonic rain boom. After she does the sonic rain boom, basically, that's when she enacted her cutie mark. Of course, after the Cutie Mark Crusaders learned this, every single member of the main six started going into a correlation. Like, wait a second. Like, Flutter's just like, I saw that rainbow. And if it wasn't for that sonic rain boom, I wouldn't have learned I could talk to animals. Pinkie Pie started talking about it. Then freaking Rarity. Then Applejack. And then freaking Twilight. They all said it. Like, they all said that it was thanks to that rainbow, that sonic rain boom that Rainbow Dash did, that everybody basically found their cutie marks. So basically, Pinkie Pie says it that they've been, they all owe their cutie marks to her, and pretty much they've been friends before they even met each other, which is kind of insane. If you think about it, it was thanks to Rainbow Dash that they all came together, basically. They all got their cutie marks, and they all came together, basically. Like, that is one hell of a correlation if you really think about it. Because that's coincidence at its best. I know a lot of people will say that, oh, this kind of stuff can never happen in real life. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I mean, wrong. That's all I'm going to say, wrong. Because this actually did happen to me, nothing like this kind of extremity, but there was a coincidence that happened. At the age of 11, I lost contact with my friend Jesus, aka White Noise. At the age of 14, I just decided to look out the window one day, and there he was trying to figure out where I lived again. And I was like, wait a minute, Jesus, is that you? We ended up running into each other. It was and I asked my mom, you can come up? We rekindled our friendship. Thanks to that. I mean, if I didn't look out that window, I don't know if I would have, found him. I don't think we would have found each other again. That's just being honest. If I didn't look out that window, I don't think I would have found him again. So, it definitely shows that certain events like this really do play a factor in your friendships, basically. And then Twilight begins to say that sometimes you'll have a magical connection to your friends even before you met them. That is a really weird moral, I'll admit that, but I love it. I love the moral for this episode. All in all, that's the Cutie Mark Chronicles. Oh, I love this episode. Love it so much. The reason why I love this episode is because we get backstory on the main six. The visuals are amazing in this episode. I don't like the music all that much, but then again, I don't really count music towards my, my overall enjoyment of an episode. And I just love the interaction that was going on between the Cutie Mark Crusaders and the main six at this point. And the one thing that I did like about this episode, I think this is one of the best episodes of My Little Pony for a while. I know a lot of people, including Buck Brony, will probably say this is the best Cutie Mark Crusader episode. I don't see this as a CMC episode. Yes, the CMC are in the episode, and yes, they're the ones that take off the episode, but they're not the main focus. I mean, you could say the same thing about Cutie Pox being a CMC episode, when in reality it's an Apple Bloom episode. Or you could say the same thing about, damn it, I don't know about many other episodes. But you get what I mean. Like, you could say this is a CMC episode, but you can't deny that this is more of a main six episode than it is a CMC episode. Because we were getting more screen time of the main six than we were the Cutie Mark Crusaders. As a matter of fact, if you were to do the math, I think this main six had more screen time than the Cutie Mark Crusaders in this episode. So I wouldn't be able to consider this a CMC episode. I would more or less consider this a main six or all-around episode. Besides, best Cutie Mark Crusader episode is still Ponyville Confidential. Nah. Well, anyways, guys, that's all I really have to talk about with this episode. Man, I get to talk about my favorite episode of all time, and now I gotta talk about an episode I really don't want to. Till next time, guys, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and this has been another My Little Pony vlog. Until next time, take care.